Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone. Love what this gentleman has created. And this is something that's been in the works for a long time. I'm talking about a children's book that is very different because there's life lessons, there's lessons about our environment, our ecology, nature, and so much more. The book is called Jack Sprout, and we've delved into that book quite a bit in the times that we've gotten together with the author. He's on to, I guess, part 2 of that book. I might call it that, the next version of it, which hasn't even been published. So we've been looking at that, going chapter by chapter. I don't even think the chapters have been created. It's so fresh. He is Jack Shoop, and he's back with us. He's our professional of the year. Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Hey, Steve, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you back here. And I truly love the way you've presented this book. And would we call this a series now that you've been sharing with us some of the latest stuff you've written?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to, because the first book, Jack Sprout and Beaver Creek Meadow, which is available on Amazon or my website, jacksprout.com, that's 12 chapters, and each chapter could be its own book. So it is quite a story of the 12 chapters. And now this new story I'm writing, it's called A New Look into an Old World. So Jack has gone beyond Beaver Creek Meadow. This is the next phase of Beaver Creek Meadow. He's going out to learn how to take even better care of nature in Beaver Creek Meadow. Excuse me.
And that's taken us from being in the meadow now to on the water, on the ocean. That's where we started with we'll call it for now the second book, or the second version of or the next step, if you will.
Right.
We're back on land this time, right?
Yeah, we found the center of the universe. Matter of fact, and they drifted and their compass quit working, and they drifted into the center of the universe. And a blue heron named Lark is their tour guide. So we're going to get in. I'm going to start where I left off last week.
Excellent. All right, let's do it. Let's dig in.
All right. And if there's anybody out there, any investors or marketing people want to jump on the Jack Sprout bandwagon, they see something they think could be interesting to them, just get a hold of me at jacksprout.com.
And by the way, I just want to also share, the characters are wonderful. Jack is a fantastic character and can translate to a lot of things that are connected to nature, positivity, just a good alliance, good connection there. So if you're interested, just reach out.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to start where I left off. They've landed on the beach, and Stark is greeting them. Lark is greeting them, and he's their tour guide. So he's going to show them around the center of the universe. We went through the sand dunes and onto the edge of the desert. We saw wide open spaces that looked hot and lonely. We're going in about a mile, then I'll show you another lesson of nature, said Lark. If we get thirsty along the way, you can open up a prickly pear, one of the fishhook cacti. It looks dry out here, but the desert has water if you know where to look. Roots run deep in this part of nature. We started walking and saw the cacti Lark had mentioned. We weren't thirsty enough to try cactus juice yet, though. There were lots of ruts to jump over. I wondered what made them way out here. There are lots of roots out here, I said, with something being drug around. These aren't roots, answered Lark. They're the ends of the desert streams called washouts. They used to have water flowing in them. They were caused by flash floods. I'll tell you about them in a minute. We hiked on through the desert, then the thickets of heavy, scratchy brush, until the Lark said we had gone far enough. Here we are, said Lark. We're at the foothills of what we call the coastal mountain range. It's where the mountains end and the coastal climate begins. I know Beaver Creek Meadow sits at the edge of a desert, and I know that you have Pete Jaggers to watch over all that live there. He does a great job. I especially like the designs he makes using rock, driftwood, and plants to make walking paths. He's a great lover of nature. In fact, all those who live in Beaver Creek Meadow are great lovers of nature. You were the first one actually born there, Jack Sprout, but you've all come together to make a useful, productive, beautiful meadow community. You've used nature in a good way to make your life work for you. However, Nature was there before you, of course. It was getting along fine without you. You came and wisely used what it had to offer. You used it wisely and are still treating it in a fair way. But, but using nature wisely and helping nature are two different things. You can't just use it. You have to help it too. Thinking of what can happen in the future is where your community is now. By planning and warning, you can help nature, shouted the great blue heron. Captain Barry and I jumped back and sat down. We thought we had been good to our high mountain meadow home. Now Lark made us feel like we were the bad guys. We sat there quietly and thought about our lives and Beaver Creek Meadow. Relax, said Lark. You both look sad. I know your community loves nature. It's just time to help it. You've all made your homes and mills and are settled now. Nature helped you. Now you help it. You see these ruts that lead into the foothills? We see them. How did they get there, we ask. They're caused by flash floods. When it's raining high on the mountains, we really don't know it out here. Of course, water doesn't soak into the mountain rocks, so it starts flowing downhill. It comes fast and strong until it rushes out here into the desert. You see, it doesn't rain very much here, and the soil in the desert becomes hard to protect itself. Then when it rains, or water comes pouring out of the mountains, it doesn't soak into the soil. It just runs away somewhere downhill. It runs fast and wild because it has nowhere to go. We call them flash floods, and do they ever cause a lot of damage and heartache? Those who live out here don't know when they're coming. They don't have time to hide or get to higher ground. There's no one to warn them. It's a problem we have to think about. I wish we had our own peat jaggers. We need a warning system. That's one thing you two have to get started when you go back home. High Mountain Harry, Oliver Otter, Red-tailed McAllister, peat jaggers, and even you, Captain Barry, need to come up with warning signals. That'll not only help nature, but save the lives of your neighbors, too. It'll be fun to see what you come up with. I know Redtail already has many different warning dives. Come on, let's hike up the dry creek bed to see where it's going near its headwaters. It's a rocky climb, but at least we'll be out of the brush for a while. I have to pick the thorns out of my feathers first. We appreciate you taking us around the center of the universe, Lark, we said. We know it's not easy for you walking in all these different landscapes. You probably want to jump up and fly away. You're right about that, responded the great blue heron. This is my way of helping nature, though. I will be glad to get back my wet sand and soothing waves, though. We should reach the top of the coastal mountains around sundown in time to find a campsite. It was an exciting hike as we saw rock formations that had been there from the beginning of time. Green shoots of young plants peeked out from cracks in the rocks. Life is everywhere. We were almost out of breath and definitely ready for rest when we reached the head of the dry creek bed. We noticed a small pool of water and decided this would be our campsite for the night. This was Captain Barry's specialty, so we let him set up camp. I looked for firewood and rocks to ring a fire. I smoothed out the soil and spread out our sleeping bags. Lark, however, was too tired from dragging his long legs around all day. He jumped up on a tree limb, watched us work for a while, then took a nap. After we ate, we fell back into relax and stare up in the night sky through the trees. Camping is great because you get to hear nature better. Many different sounds happen all at once. You can't see where they're coming from, but it's fun to guess what's making the noises. It's mostly birds, but rabbits, deer, bobcats, and even porcupines are out there too. It was near sundown. The light was disappearing over the trees, and all of a sudden, the noises stopped. Lark sat up straight, looking nervous. Listen, he whispered. What is it? We answered. We don't hear anything. That's what I mean, he said. It's too quiet. The wind has completely stopped, and the birds have stopped singing. It may be the calm before the storm. It's kind of scary, if you ask me. You never know what's coming. Let's just hope it's not a storm, rain, hail, or something like that. We sat there in complete silence, worrying about what was going to happen to our campsite. Nature is never this quiet. Something was happening. We waited quietly for what seemed like a very long time. We never said a word, but looked at each other and wondered. Just as the sun went down over the last of the tall pine trees, a cooling breeze drifted through our camp. That changed our mood, and everything was back to normal as nature gets anyway. Okay, now I know what that was, said Lark. Every night about sundown, the trade winds switch from offshore to onshore. The winds die down and it gets really still while they're making the switch. I had forgotten about that. It's a different feeling being up here in the mountains. I'm usually down by the shoreline instead of out here in the daytime. The trade winds switch directions. It's a natural thing that happens every day. I wasn't even thinking about the trades coming up this far. That was kind of scary, though, wasn't it? I admit I was a little nervous, I offered. But if you think that was scary, I have a ghost story that'll make your feathers stand up, said Captain Barry. Really? Well, let's hear it, said Lark. I haven't heard a good ghost story for in that forever. You think bedtime's a good time to tell it? It's the best time, shouted Captain Barry. Here it goes. I gave Captain Barry a dirty look because I had told him not to tell any ghost stories and put my head down to stare at the ground. I put my hands over my ears because I didn't want to hear it again. It was a good story, all right, but it always stayed on my mind too long. I didn't stop him because he was so excited to tell it. He was having too much fun. We'll just have to see what happens. The captain started telling the story, and I will say he's a great storyteller. He waves his big old bear paws around and bares his big shiny teeth. We know he's a gentle bear, but when it's story time, he's a mean-looking bear. I picked over the great blue heron, and his eyes were as wide as sand dollars. He was holding his blanket round his beak, staring straight at Captain Barry. I will say this for him. He never let out a sound or closed his eyes. He was a brave ghost story listener. The next time I looked over, however, Lark had pulled the blanket over his head and was quiet as a fallen leaf. I looked at the big smile on Captain Barry's face and I just shook my head. He was obviously very proud of himself. I slept sound because I hadn't listened to the story. It was a different thing for the great blue heron. No sound came from his blanket until the next morning. Captain Barry had the fire started and breakfast going when Lark and I opened our eyes the next morning. Actually, Lark's eyes were already open. They had been open all night. Good morning, Lark, I said. Did you sleep well? I didn't sleep, was all he said. We had our breakfast in total silence. Since we're on the side of a volcano today, we will discover how nature is born after a volcanic eruption, started Lark. Most of this planet land had formed from volcanoes. There are many secrets out here, and you can learn from this volcano. Look out for the wild fern holes as we walk along, though, offered Lark. We've lost a lot of critters down those holes. Most were never to be heard from again. There are sure a lot of never to be heard from again stories here at the center, I said. Will you please be sure to point out the wild fern holes to us? I would have, answered Lark. We both know what that meant. Well, what is a wild fern hole anyway? Asked Captain Barry. He was the one that Lark was mad at and was trying to get on his good side. Ferns grow on the side of the volcano, started Lark. When the lava spews out and slowly crawls downhill, some of it surrounds the ferns and forms circles around them. Eventually, the ferns die and decompose, but the round hole, the deep, dark round hole, is still there. They're called wild fern holes because the ferns are gone and the holes could be anywhere. Critters fall in all the time, some never to be heard from again, especially when they've been chased and not looking where they're going. Hope you two adventurers don't fall into one of them. Maybe you could add this center of the universe wild fern hole story to that ghost story you're so proud of. Great. The day was getting off to a rocky start. We're in a new land with a grouchy, sleepy guide and still without a working compass. Hey, how come our compass quit working? Asked Captain Barry. The center of the universe blocks out all incoming signals trying to make it through our air or water. We must not be discovered unless adventurers are seeking us. We find out when they're coming and let them learn about nature. That's why we let you two in. You're out of touch with your other life until you leave. You'd better be nice to your guide. Maybe you could add the broken compass story to your great, wonderful ghost story. As you can see all around, this hillside is covered in lush green ferns, grasses, fruit trees, and berry bushes. Just think, a year ago, this hillside was covered with hot, steaming lava rock. You thought that nothing would ever grow here again, but it's quite the opposite. The lava rock has at least two unique qualities. First, It's coming from the middle of the planet, which is rich in minerals. These minerals are like candy to plants. The plants can grow to be strong and healthy on lava rock. The roots help break up the lava into tiny pieces, which help more plants grow. There will be a forest here someday. The other quality is that the lava rock is full of tiny holes. These holes hold air and water to let the roots drink and give them something to hold on to when they're trying to grow. Beaver Creek Meadow was formed by the planet's crust cracking and shooting up to form mountains. But when you go back, you can tell them what you saw here. Maybe you can grow some type of crop in the rocks on the side of your mountains. We can. I don't see you guys writing anything down. Are you remembering everything? We can remember, we said. We're not sure our neighbors will be ready for all the new things we tell them anyway. Everyone's pretty comfortable with their lives right now. That's good. They should be happy. They've done a great job working with nature and all around them. But life, especially nature, never stops. Sometimes it's growing and sometimes it's collapsing. Let me throw this at you. You're sitting on top of a geothermal steam and even hydrogen gases right now. What? We shouted. Let's get out of here. Why are we even here? Relax. You two sure get excited easily. The gases are safely underground. However, we're trying new ways to bring them to service and use them for new forms of energy. Maybe Beaver Creek Meadow will be one of the first communities to learn how to use nature in that way. Maybe you can discover the formula to convert them to energy and let us at the center know. We can't figure everything out. We need help too. We do have some smart minds over there, I answered. There may be even some of those gases under High Mountain Harry lives on the mountain High Mountain Harry lives on. We're not sure how he'll take the news though. We'll have to help him start digging. You say there's always a little gas escaping from Coloco Bayou. We'll have to see what's that all about. I wonder if you can harness and use swamp gas for energy. It's a natural gas. Captain Barry and I had a good laugh at that one. Get it? Swamp gas? Lark didn't get the joke. I think he was getting too tired. Hey, Lark, you look tired. We know you had a rough night. Why don't you take a break and doze off? We saw some berry bushes a ways back. We'll go pick up some berries and be back in an hour. I was thinking of taking a nap anyway, said Lark. Getting plenty of sleep is an important part of nature. Last night's memory is still with me. A good nap may erase it, and I'll be in a better mood when you get back. There's some soft moss here that'll make a great bed. To tell you the truth, it was good to get away from our nature guide for a while. Lark is great, but we've been learning every minute for the last 2 days. We needed a break and maybe even some fun. Captain Barry said he had sniffed some berry bushes earlier. I hadn't seen any, but you can trust a bear's nose. He even said they smell like his favorite, the purple blackberry. We went through some small trees and high grass, which is fun for me. Captain Barry was dreaming of purple blackberries, which was fun for him. Eventually, the aroma of the berries was in the air, and the big brown bear raised up on his hind legs, took a big sniff, and raced uphill. I still didn't see them, but off he went. He had disappeared through the beginning of a new forest when a great big bear roar sounded out. Then another roar, and some bear yelling, and I couldn't make out. What was wrong, I wondered, and raced up ahead to find out. I ran past a thick stand of tall ferns, and there he was. Captain Barry had fallen into a wild fern hole. He had been running on all 4 of his legs, and luckily only one of his back legs got caught in the hole. He was way too big to be swallowed up, so he wouldn't be one of those never to be heard from again stories. He was mad, a bit scared, and also worried that I might fall into one. Look out, Jack Sprout, he shouted. This place is crawling with those wild fern holes. I was running after my favorite thing in life and forgot to look where I was going. I just wasn't paying attention, like our guide told us to. Get me out of here. I don't want Lark to see me. I'll never hear the end of it. I tried pulling on the big stuck bear, but are you kidding? I'm not moving, Captain Barry. I gave him a shoulder to lean on and did everything I could to think of. I'm not moving you an inch unless you lose 200 pounds real quick, I said. Just as we calmed down and began to ponder our fate, we heard Lark yelling. Hey, you guys, he was shouting. Jack Sprout, Captain Barry, where are you? Over here, we yelled, just past the stand of tall ferns. Lark came hopping and flapping through the ferns and saw the accident in front of him. I thought I told, I know, yelled Captain Barry. Just get me out of here. I promise not to tell any more ghost stories. Yeah, I think you should call this one the Bad Karma Wild Fern Hole Bear Stuck Story. They'll love this one back in good old Beaver Creek Meadow, suggested the now suddenly happy nature guide. We might as well. They're not going to believe most of the stuff we're going to tell them anyway, I said. So could you hear us? I was wondering. When I heard that bear yell, I jumped clean out of the moss, said Lark. Hear you, the whole mountain heard you. All the ground animals went underground to hide. The birds took off. I'm sure any wildlife within 2 miles heard you. Scared the heck out of us. I knew you two adventure were getting in trouble, so here I am. Would you two please stop yakking and get me out of here? Grumbled Captain Barry. Believe it or not, said Lark, this isn't the first time a four-legger had been not paying attention and got stuck in a wild fern hole. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Grab that big old log over there, Jack Sprout, and put it over the next Captain Barry. Captain Barry, you lift up your unstuck back leg, and we'll slide the log under you. We'll put another log across that log and lever you up like a teeter-totter. You should be able to push down on the log and help get yourself out. Just then, the ground started rumbling and shaking, which actually helped push Captain Barry's back leg out of the fern hole. Shook up and happy at the same time, we both shouted, "What in the center of the universe was that?" "Oh, that was just a little old earthquake," said Lark. "They happen all the time, probably thousands of them every year. Remember, we're on top of a volcano. Rocks are melting and shifting all the time, day and night. Your roaring might have caused an earthquake too. That roar sent out a lot of shockwave vibration. Put that in your bear unstuck from a wild fern hole by a roar caused by an earthquake storm." "I'm ready to go back to the safety of our cabin cruiser," I said. "Come on, Captain Barry. Put your paw on my shoulder and I'll help you limp back. It's downhill from here, so we'll make it." Back at the cabin cruiser, we jumped in our bunks, exhausted and glad to be safely home. It got rough out there today. We wondered what was in store for us tomorrow. Just before we closed our eyes, Captain Barry mumbled, "I'm not telling anyone any more ghost stories. They just get me in trouble." "They're just too good," I answered. "Good night, Captain Barry." "Good night, Jack." We got a little more time, or what we want?
We're just about out of time, and I'm kind of
Okay.
amazed that I think you're a psychic, because I'm in the New York area, and you mentioned earthquakes. There's been 2 earthquakes in the last 2 days here. They're like,
What?
yeah, magnitude 3. I think the last one was a couple of hours ago, 2.7. I didn't feel it. I can't make that up.
Yeah, you can't make those up.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I wonder, when you're writing, Jack, like you're talking about lava rock and the formation and the properties of it and all the other stuff, is that stuff you've learned, or do you also research it for the
No,
book?
I lived that. I lived on the Big Island of Hawaii for 30 years, and I moved over there in '85. And in 1987, well, Kilauea goes off every now and then. It just went off a couple months ago.
Hmm.
And back in '87, it went off a lot, and a lot of lava came out, and it flowed over the roads, and it got, washed away. It took a lot of homes. So my wife and I, we went down there, and I was standing on the asphalt, and the lava was flowing across the road. Maybe I could have touched it a foot from me. And my wife had on one of those down jackets, the
Sure.
skiers wear,
Yep.
and it was melting her jacket. It's 1,200 degrees because the lava is fed by gas, and the gas, you see a blue flame. The mountains way up there, and we're like 3 miles down slope, but the gas is still there, and you can see the blue flame, 1,200 degrees, melting the rock, flowing across the road. So no, I've seen that, and I've been in lava tubes, and so all the stuff, and the wild fern holes are real. I've seen those, and
Wow.
yeah, that's all stuff I've seen.
Crazy. That's just,
Yeah.
still getting over the earthquake thing.
Yeah, I know. On the Big Island we have like 1,000 a year.
Mm.
And did you ever hear that movie from the center of the earth, or Richard Chamberlain? It's like a long time ago.
Journey to the Center of the Earth, I think it was.
Something like that. Anyway, they were using a hotel on the Big Island as their home base. So that hotel, the Surf Hotel, was in the movie. Okay, so they filmed that on the Big Island, and I'm not kidding. I was watching it on TV, And we had an earthquake while I'm watching a movie about an earthquake on the Big Island. So it's pretty.
Well, here you are talking about earthquakes in your book, and then we just had one.
You
Literally,
had one.
it's like 2 hours ago.
Look out.
Yeah.
Look out.
If anybody wants to learn more about Jack Sprout and Beaver Creek Meadow, simply go to the website. Very simple to find. It is jacksprout.com. Or, again, if somebody's looking to invest, they want to, interested in the characters, the concept, and all of that, best way to reach you can also be the website too, right?
Well, yeah, the website, but Jack, my email is the best way, jack@jacksprout.com, because a lot of people have been asking me, that Jack, this is great. I go, I know it's great, but I need help getting it out there.
Yep.
So I need marketers, investors, and maybe a business, because once he's out there, it's sky's the limit, right?
Go to the website, check out the character, jacksprout.com. As always, Jack, thanks for sharing today, and we'll catch up next time.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.